will help you take other pleasant journeys. Hyundai, cars that make sense. Comes with more standard features than any car in its class and a price that will help send your kids to school. Hyundai, cars that make sense.
Well, I've got it. Thanks to Rimco. That's my life.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report of Channel 6 News, Happy Independence Day. Thousands of Tulsans enjoy a day of sun, fun, and relaxation as the holiday weekend begins. We'll check out today's activities.
Soldiers who fought and died for this country are being honored here in Tulsa. I was at the groundbreaking for a local Vietnam Veterans Memorial, and we'll have the story. When the weekend ends and it's time to return to work, there will be new federal guidelines for employee safety. Anita Parvin has the details.
We'll have these stories and more, plus sports and the weather forecast, live from the site of tonight's fireworks celebration on Channel 6 News. Stay with us.
I'll admit it, in 1980.
For 5 years running. More trusted in 2 separate independent polls. Voted best by the Washington Journalism Review 2 years in a row. When America makes a choice, it's not by chance. Watch Dan Rather weeknights on the CBS Evening News. We keep America on top of the world.
Live, this is KOTV, Channel 6 News at 5, with Joe Webb, Glenda Sylvie, meteorologist Tony Shelton, and Bill Teagan Sports.
Good evening and happy Independence Day from all of us at Channel 6.
Tulsans have joined the rest of America celebrating today, ranging from lighthearted fun to some
double great deal. Don't miss it.
KJRH TV2 Tulsa. Live from KJRH in Tulsa. Bruce Dunbar. Beth Ringel. Meteorologist Gary Shore. And sports director Jerry Weber. This is News Center 2 at 5.
This land is my land. From the Colorado to the New York Island. From the Gulf Stream.
Liberty, freedom, America. Those are the words Tulsans are using most on this 4th of July. Good evening, everyone, and happy Independence Day. Bruce Dunbar has the night off. Oklahoma has joined the rest of the nation today in celebrating the 4th.
We're all people. We all have our memories. We're all Americans. Freedom means the same to everyone, regardless of whether you're 65 or 35. Time takes care of everything. Yeah, we're all veterans. We're not singled out from the Korean War or World War II or any war. We're just all veterans.
A lot of other Tulsans are spending their holidays at the beach or at the park. Reporter Randy Lewin took a swing through Chandler Park and talked to some Oklahomans enjoying the day and anticipating the night.
What's as American as a July 4th barbecue? Maybe a greased pole contest. A greased watermelon contest. Or the ever-popular frisbee catching dog. That's how some people and animals are spending the 4th. Though the crowd so far is smaller than...
The nation's largest celebration continues in New York City as millions of Americans have packed the area in anticipation for tonight's Big Bang. 40 barges and 20 tons of explosives are prepared to dazzle the crowds. This afternoon, hundreds of ships packed the harbor, jockeying for the best view of the fireworks display. The Statue of Liberty is none the worse for wear following last night's party. The torch was relit for the first time since renovation was begun last year. President Nancy Reagan are spending the holiday at the site of the celebration and will host tonight's big event. The nation's farmers haven't been forgotten thanks to Willie Nelson and Farm Aid 2. 40,000 folks are jamming into Manor, Texas for an 18-hour concert extravaganza. Many of the ticket holders got caught in this morning's 11-mile traffic jam. 75 acts are banding together, hoping to raise $9 million to aid America's farm community.
News in the region includes the search for the murderers of a Shoto man. The body of 63-year-old Glenn Rothenbush was found in his mobile home yesterday by friends. Police say the man had been beaten to death Wednesday night. Some money was taken from Rothenbush's home, and police think robbery may have led to the murder. The victim's van was also stolen, and authorities are trying to track the vehicle down, hoping to find the killer or killers. 2 men are in jail here in Tulsa following a car chase and shootout involving a drug deal yesterday. Police say they followed the suspects from Springfield, Missouri into Tulsa. When they tried to make an arrest at the Falls apartment complex on East 59th Place, shots were fired by the suspects. The ensuing car chase ended at the Skaggs Alpha Beta parking lot on Memorial and 51st. Police say they found narcotics and a gun. Charges of intent to kill as well as drug possession have been filed.
Continued violence in South Africa has injured 10,000 miners walking off the job or staging work slowdowns. The miners are trying to force the government to release many union leaders who have been jailed by the Botha regime. Today is the official observance of Filipino-American Friendship Day in the Philippines, but it turned into a violent demonstration. 5,000 leftist Filipinos gathered in front of the American embassy to protest our involvement in their country. Police had to use tear gas and guns to disperse the mob, and at least 13 people have been injured.
Residents throughout northeast Oklahoma will be heading down to the Arkansas River tonight for a terrific fireworks display. Meteorologist Tony Shelton will be with us with the weather after this.
I needed the money, so I went to my bank to get a loan.
You want what?
It was embarrassing.
He wants a loan.
The Independence holiday always revolves around outside activities, picnics during the day and fireworks at night. Unfortunately, it's also a time for lots of accidents, many which could be avoided with a little common sense. In just a moment, we'll be talking with Dr. Charles Farmer from St. John Medical Center, who'll be giving us some tips on what you can look for in the way of accidents tonight and how you can prevent those.
We spend about a third of most days at work, so those surroundings can have a tremendous impact on our health. There are now some new federal regulations designed to make the workplace safer for the thousands of people who handle chemicals. Anita Parvin explains.
Methyl ethyl ketone, just one of dozens.
22 tall ships and 200 smaller ones paid tribute to the Statue of Liberty on her centennial today. Among those saluting the lady from the flotilla was President Reagan, who just last night unveiled the renovated statue while millions watched on television. Meanwhile, in Manor, Texas, another American institution is getting its due.
No laws. The Tulsa Fire Department is also surveying local companies to gather specific information about the chemicals on site. That information should help firemen better protect themselves and you in case of fires or spills. Well, as we told you a little bit ago, we were going to join Tony Shelton out on the river for the weather forecast. We're having some technical problems, as we do from time to time, but we've got the next best thing. We've got Mike Anderson here in the studio with the weather report. Mike, what's coming up?
Well, Joe, looks like we will continue with some very warm weather across the area. Right now here in Tulsa, 93 degrees, humidity 49%. Pressure has been falling during the afternoon hours, 29.86 inches. Wind still rather breezy out around the south at 16 miles an hour. Now, our Oklahoma City satellite picture shows generally fair skies across most of Oklahoma. We still see some clouds, though, right along the Oklahoma-Arkansas border. The main storm system, however, is well to our north, centered around Minnesota with a cold front stretching through Nebraska. We can see a large area of high pressure in the Gulf. That continues to bring up southerly winds across Texas and Oklahoma. Now, this is a satellite picture from around midnight last night. Shows generally clear skies here in Tulsa, but we do see a few showers across north-central Oklahoma. As we put the satellite into motion, we show those showers moving on off to our east. More showers developing east of Tulsa, and then more thunder showers right now in southwestern Arkansas, stretching from around Texarkana up to Fort Smith. However, it looks like most of this activity will continue moving on off to our east. We'll continue with clear skies here in Green Country. Looks like a beautiful evening for any firework activity. Now, temperatures are still quite warm across much of the southern plains. 93 degrees here in Tulsa, 95 degrees in Oklahoma City and Wichita, 96 degrees out in Amarillo, and it looks like more warm weather in store for our region during the weekend. Now, by tomorrow afternoon, looks like we will continue with the warm weather. Southerly winds coming off the Gulf will continue to bring up moisture also, so it looks like it will be warm and muggy tomorrow. Temperatures warming up to 98 degrees, and with that humidity, it looks like heat indexes will be climbing up to around 105, so take it easy if you've got outdoor activities planned for tomorrow. Now, it does look like we could see a few isolated thunderstorms late tomorrow afternoon, but generally, mostly sunny skies expected across Tulsa. Now let's take a look at our specific forecast. For this evening, windy, hazy, and hot across the region. Those south winds continuing around 10 to 20 miles an hour, but they will be dying down by around 9 or 9:30 when those fireworks shows will begin. Again, temperatures in the upper 80s this evening. Then for tonight, we will continue, well, for tomorrow rather, we will continue with a sunny, windy, and hazy conditions. It will be hot, temperatures warming up to 98 degrees. The winds will be picking up, though, out of the southwest at around 15 to 30 miles an hour, and lake wind advisories may be in effect for area lakes tomorrow afternoon. By tomorrow night, we will see fair skies, warm conditions. Southwesterly winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour will bring us a nighttime low of 77 degrees, and the extended forecast calls for Sunday, partly cloudy skies, 79 and 95 degrees for an afternoon high. Monday, it looks like we will see some generally partly cloudy skies. We could see a few showers and thunder showers moving in. 77 degrees for a morning low, warming up to 92 degrees for an afternoon high. And then it looks like Tuesday, sunny skies, an afternoon high of 92 degrees. So really, doesn't look too bad. We should see an excellent evening for firework activities.
You'll have to excuse Mike. Mike is on his knees. We don't have a chair here because we weren't expecting Mike to do the weather from in here. I tell you what, our technical facilities have declared their independence from Channel 6.
They really have. We're sorry, but
Have escaped us today.
It's all right.
We got it under control.
Right. We'll be right back after this.
There are 4 coupons in today's newspaper ad for Jim Norton Buick Isuzu. One for $200, one for $400, one for $600, and one for $800. If you're planning to trade in your car, do it this weekend. Just bring the coupon ad to Jim Norton at 8th and Detroit. But don't tell them about it until after you've made your best deal. Then give them the ad, and they'll give you up to $800 more for your trade-in. No questions asked. Consider it a birthday present.
Dealing with trauma is a way of life for our staff at Hillcrest Emergency Center.
Sometimes bad things happen to good people. Isn't it nice to know that we're here when you need us? At Hillcrest, a baby is born every 3 hours. We're considered one of the finest birthing facilities in this part of Oklahoma. That's why last year nearly 3,000 women chose us.
I'm Bob Eubanks. You never know what to expect from those unpredictable newlyweds. I said, what's the one annoying thing he does? She said he lies.
I can't believe this. Oh, my God, we're on TV. Oh, my God.
What's the difference between stupid and dumb?
Well,
it means the same thing.
No,
yes, it does.
No, you can be stupid, then you can be dumb.
What's the difference?
Dumb is dumb, stupid is stupid.
Join us for one of America's most popular game shows. It's the all-new Newlywed Game.
Weeknights at 6:30.
As we said earlier, the Independence holiday always revolves around outside activities, picnics during the day and fireworks at night. Unfortunately, it's also a time for lots of accidents, many of which could be avoided with a little common sense. Joining us now from St. John Medical Center's emergency room is Dr. Charles Farmer. Dr. Farmer, how's the day been going so far?
Well, Glenda, we were real busy earlier today. Things have kind of quietened down, but I feel it's kind of the quiet before the storm.
What kinds of things have you been seeing so far?
Well, as you mentioned, we've seen a various assortment of things so far. Nothing any more special than what we would see on a regular weekend day. But today, you know, is 4th of July, and we're going to be having a lot of fireworks this evening, and I think that's one thing that we want to talk about here today, and that's fireworks injuries.
What can parents do to minimize the pain of an injury, a burn injury?
Well, as far as just minimizing the pain of an injury, the best thing to do with a burn is to cool it down as quickly as you can with just some cool tap water and put a sterile dressing with some type of antibiotic ointment on it. But if it's more than just the minimum burn, then it should be seen by a physician.
How do you know if it's a minimum burn or if you need to seek professional medical assistance?
Well, usually the things that we see with fireworks injuries as far as burns are concerned are burns of the face, possibly the eyes and the hands. And it doesn't take much of a burn on the face or the eyes or the hands to classify it as a major burn or a significant burn. So if you receive any injuries of this sort, they should be seen.
Thank you, Dr. Farmer. I hope for everyone's sake that you're not too busy tonight.
Hope so.
Joe?
When we return, Bill Tiggins will have the first look at holiday sports news.
Along with Mom and Apple Pie, baseball is America's, baseball is America. When we return, we'll look at some former big leaguers who still love America's favorite pastime.
when I suggest paint to my...
And 97 up around Ponca City and Blackwell right now. Those are the hottest areas of the state. And in the metro region, generally low 90s are prevailing. And with that strong south wind, if you're going to be out in the lakes, you might have to reef your sails if you're going to be sailing. And the motorboats are going to find it kind of choppy out there for skiing. The best time for being out on the lakes will be during the mornings. The winds will be a little lighter, but even then, there'll be a light to moderate chop and a moderate to heavy chop on the lakes in the afternoons. And in my forecast this evening, isolated thunderstorms over to the east of us in the western sections of Arkansas will be dissipating. Otherwise clear, breezy, warm and humid. South winds diminishing just a little bit. And the picture of the evening for you, generally clear skies. Temperatures dropping from 92 at 6 o'clock and then 87 at 9, 82 at midnight. And by tomorrow morning, we're going to look at low temperatures around the area. 78 for a low here in Tulsa and around Ponca City. And Fayetteville looks like they'll dip to about 71 for a low for the cool spot. I'll have all the details on the rest of the weekend coming up.
That's really nice. Is that silk? That's
Yes,
nice
thank
on
you.
your white loafers. It's cute. I like it.
That's only once a year, right?
Of course. Up next in sports, Jerry says if the old baseball saying is true that the team ahead on the 4th of July will win the pennant, then the Mets are a shoo-in. We'll be right back.
Before you put that steak...
Here with sports, and on 4th of July, I think it's only fitting that you talk about baseball.
We're going to look back a little bit.
Well, they used to say that didn't 4th of July used to be the middle of the season? Didn't it?
Sure did. Who's ever ahead in the division at this time of year is going to win it. That's the old saying. Doesn't always go true, but that's what they say. As we celebrate this 4th of July holiday, it only seems right, as Joe mentioned, to talk about our national pastime. Baseball is a game that has obviously changed a lot in its plus 100 years of existence. So let's go back to the 1800s when baseball got its start.
Left center, that's going to be trouble unless Benitez can get to it, and he does. Benitez.
Baseball, our national was around in those days, and he has told me many times what it was like.
I never played baseball in a barnyard, but we used to play pickup games, and we didn't use bales of hay or anything for bases.
Ball that's taped up, yeah, we did
smashed cans, all kinds of stuff. Okay, thank you, Bill. Have a nice weekend.
Thanks, you too, Joe.
Glenda?
Just like baseball, some things in America should never change, and that includes the corner barbershop. It's the place where the gossip is heard first, where nobody is in a hurry, and where you can get the most inexpensive haircut in town. Dana Sterling and photographer Kurt Maslanka found one in Shakota.
Women, cattle, farming, ranching, fishing.
That's what the men discuss at Bill's Barbershop in Shakota. Here, TV has not replaced conversation, and the conversation has covered the same themes for the last 30 years.
Did I tell you about old Dal, what's his name, you know? His brother got killed here not too long ago. He's in this dope ring. He's married over. I married a girl 20-something years old, and him 70-something years old.
I would have got a young one if I'd found one had anything.
Bill gives the same $4 haircut to the small ones, too. Sherry Madewall brought Jared and Scott in to get ready for a family reunion.
Granddad won't like that at all.
They had to bribe him last time.
Bill sometimes pinches her. You going to give him a shave, Bill?
No.
He didn't want to shave?
I'll call it quits just as quick as I can on it. I like that football. You do? You bet. All I like about that soccer's the only thing that I don't like. And I don't like to sit and watch them play golf.
Well, basketball I like.
College football is, to me, the best sport that they've got.
Dope is really getting a hold in sports, you know it?
What?
Dope.
That's right.
Dope.
Well, the United States has got the slackest laws on that dope in the world.
Yeah, that's the worst thing it ever had on the country.
You know, they give them a year suspended sentence and slap their hand a little bit and they're back out the next day.
That's right, doing it.
They ought to pass a law for these athletes. They'll have a urine test after every ball game.
That's right. He don't never play.
Now these youngsters look up to them professional ball players and these college ball players. Now what do you think that does to them?
And not everybody. That's just like a man's word. Years ago, you know, you'd go here and borrow $25 or $30 just on your word.
Yeah. It's unbelievable to me the difference in the change of the people in
45 years, 40 years,
Yeah.
45.
Bill's Barbershop in Shakota, where a haircut still costs $4. Dana Sterling, Channel 6 News.
What a nice story.
Wonderful. Sure enjoyed eavesdropping on that conversation. There's still more to come on the 5 o'clock report of Channel 6 News.
We'll look across the country at some new Americans proud of their new home, but intent on preserving their heritage.
Clothing for Channel 6 News provided by Harold's.
For most of us, the American way of life is the only one we know. But for our many immigrants, they're excited about the future, but also preserving their past. Forrest Sawyer reports.
This is the USA, Tarpon Springs, Florida, where almost a third of the 18,000 residents are of Greek descent. John Claneris, born in Greece, but raising his family right here.
Whatever I would have in Greece, I have it here, and much more. There's the coffee shops here, the church is here, all the Greek...
To celebrate America.
God bless America.
On fit.
And that's our 5 o'clock report for Independence Day 1986. Be careful, but enjoy yourselves tonight.
Be sure and stay tuned for our special broadcast from the site of tonight's fireworks celebration. But first, let's go to New York and Dan Rather. Good night.